Hey everybody, welcome back to Obscurities and Miniatures, and it is time once again for some weekly painting progress. Now last week was not very impressive because I basically didn't get anything done, but I did manage to finish up a couple things this week. So without further ado, why don't we take a look? You can get out of the way. We'll start off with some of the Chronicles of the Wayfarer figures that I had attempted to finish and didn't get around to completing. So first up is the Kiln Knight, and while I went with a really simple paint job, honestly, of the bunch, he's probably my favorite, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just, he has a nice complex sculpt. There's a lot of filigree and details in his armor, but I kept it really simple, and I wanted to try to do something that didn't match up with Barzam's or the actual artwork and painted figures that are on their Kickstarter or website. So, came out pretty nice. It gives me a bit of a mid-80s Silver Centurion Iron Man vibe, but you know, you can only do so much with dudes in armor before it starts looking like superhero stuff, I'm afraid. So, happy with how he turned out. I probably should put something on that shield, though, because it's kind of plain and empty at the moment. Next up, we have, oh gosh, I can't remember his name. Another one of the Spirit Warden guys. This is the Bonesinger, I believe. But I am really unhappy with how he turned out. It didn't look like this when I originally painted it, and it just, yeah, I'm not happy with my results. This is going to be a back to the drawing board one. We're going to fix him up, I think. I'm not too pleased with how it turned out. Another one of the Spirit Wardens. I am not sure what her name is off the top of my head. I want to say it was a hunter or something, but I have to double check. She came in okay. I like the skull mask. The overall sculpt was nicely executed. Came out decent. And then we have the Headhunter. And the Headhunter I am particularly happy with, except for his bats. I just had a hard time figuring out which bat went where, so I just glued them on all willy-nilly like and just called it a day. So, they're finished, but I really liked him. I went with a very dark gorilla-like color with his body, because he looks very ape-like. He's got really long arms, kind of short legs. Seemed appropriate. So, I like the bats too, or whatever they are. They're not exactly bats. So that is my Headhunter. And then we got this thing all finished up. The Fire Golem, or Flame Golem, or whatever it's called, for Malifaux. It is quite large, and I totally cheated. I totally used the contrast paints, and it got the job done, and I hate painting flames. So I was quite happy that this thing got done pretty quickly. I'm probably going to actually go back and play around with darkening up some of the edges on all the metal bits on him, because it was pretty simplistic. But since he came out pretty decent and quick, I'm going to probably go back and repaint a bunch of other giant flame stuff like Cronius and the Magma Giant or whatever it's called from Shadows of Brimstone. Yeah, I did a crummy job gluing it. You can see where all the pieces go together. I didn't bother actually, filling those gaps, but whatever. It's done, and it looks pretty decent, so I'm happy with it. And then mostly what I got done this week were the Blood Tribe Furions. I'm going to show them off one by one. Now, they all have their own names. I don't remember what they are, but they are all 100% painted. And they got a little fleck of something there. Paint, looks like. She was probably my least favorite, and that's probably why I'm starting off with her. She's one of the sculpts I felt was kind of flat. She's got a really thick thigh, and it looks thicker than the other one for some reason. Let's grab another of the sword holders. So here you can see another one. I don't like how the front of her fur stuff matches the back, and her hair kind of blends into. I might have to go back and clean that up a bit. I'm also not sure how those horns are staying on, because I don't think they're actually part of her. Let's see, we have another sword one here. I like her. I did actually paint her eyes, and you can't really tell anymore, but it's okay. She came out pretty decent overall. The highlights look all right, too. Moving on, we have this model. I kind of like the fact that you can use her cape to actually help prop her up, so there's a bit more balance, because one of the things I don't enjoy about Raging Hero models is sometimes they are precariously balanced, almost as bad as Infinity figures, but at least these figures tend to have more heft and girth to them that I don't have to worry as much and pin everything. So she came out all right. We've got one of the champion type ladies, I'm assuming. I don't think there's any actual rank. She came out all right. And that's the thing. I feel like they feel solid, except for this flag. This flag didn't feel solid, but I like this model. Again, they're a little on the flat side, and I unfortunately have too many of their weapons and hands ended up pointing downwards, and it was not my intention, but that's what happened. For example, this model I really like. I believe this was the alternate musician one. And as you can see, her hand's kind of aiming down. And she is standing on the skull pointing, giving directions to somebody or other. It was kind of weird how her hair is intermixed with both horns and with the axe itself. So I think I got everything the way it was supposed to be painted. I'm not even sure. I thought she came out pretty decent. I did actually paint her eyes there. Debating if I should still put something on that banner, and I'm noticing a spot I missed somehow there. Interesting. So at first I was thinking I was going to use contrast paints on these ladies, and then it just didn't look good. I don't know. In my experience so far, I'm not enjoying the contrast paints. I've played around with them a few times. Maybe they just aren't for me. For whatever reason, the bandages on this model ended up a lot darker than I wanted them to. I wanted to go with a very white, but I didn't want it to match the skull or the horns, but it just kind of ended up being its own thing. And I just now realized I forgot to actually paint the little studs on all of her armor. Okay, well, we're going to have to go fix that up. And then finally we have the head taker. This is another one that you have the hair and the horns and the blades all intermingling with each other, which kind of was a fun mess to decipher and discern where everything went. But I think I did okay in the end. She also has, I don't know if this is part of her cloak behind there or what. It probably is the cloak now that I think about it, but oh well. They're painted. And speaking of painted blood tribes, I do have the new mounted model on its way already from Raging Heroes, so hopefully we will get to see her both unboxed and built, and hopefully we'll be seeing some rules for for mounted models in Warcry, because I am totally using these ladies in Warcry. I also hope that we see a bit more from Raging Heroes in terms of interesting models like these, because they're a bit more unique, and I always like when we get new stuff and they all kind of blend together when they look like that. My initial concerns about them being a little bit flat, they still are, but I think it works. They feel very solid. They don't feel brittle. They don't feel like anything's going to break. My only real concern is that flag. Even this one's banner pole here doesn't seem as bad as the flag, but maybe that's just me putting them through way too much abuse. I don't know. It's possible. Yeah. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for more of these Chronicles of the Wayfarer figures as well. They have that questing night, which I really would like to see come to fruition. So hopefully they're going to get that Kickstarter funded, or look into alternative means, or start just producing figures on the side. I don't know what, but I do wish them the best of luck, because they are quite cool models, and I can totally see myself giving more of their models a good, nice paint job. So with that said, hopefully we'll see some new stuff finished next week, and we will be back one way or the other with our weekly painting progress here at Obscurities in Miniatures. Until then, we'll see y'all later, and hopefully you'll stick around and check out some of our other videos. See y'all later. Bye-bye.